Member for Newtown.
Welcome to the New World Order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is for the Premier.
It's Wednesday.
Given the Premier's comments that increasing housing supply is the best way to address housing affordability, and the responses by yourself and the Treasurer earlier in question time that we are seeing record housing supply, yet we are still seeing record-breaking house prices, at what point will the increase in supply result in stabilising or reducing house prices?
Forward, Premier. Thank you. Premier has the call.
Madam Speaker,
Thank you.
I'm pleased to receive the question from the member for Newtown, and I'm also pleased to say that recently, and I thank the Treasurer for this information, but recently Treasury did some numbers to suggest that because of the rate at which we are approving housing approvals and also building construction, the mean price of an average house in Sydney would have been $50,000 higher were it not for our policies. That's a fact. Madam Speaker, those opposite.
Member for Cessnock rises on a point of order.
That's like talking about the Premier to
No, I can't hear you, so I'd like to hear what your point of order is. So could you speak?
ask the Premier to table that research on the...
It's not a point of order.
Madam Speaker, we would be pleased to make that information available, but you just need to do the maths, Madam Speaker. So let's also contrast the number of housing approvals we've done compared to those. And Madam Speaker, I note that the member for Newtown asked about housing affordability and supply, and I appreciate that. But as you know, housing supply and construction needs to be done in concert with extra spending and infrastructure, because you can't actually provide extra housing unless you support the rail lines and the other infrastructure, because, Madam Speaker, let's face it, not everybody can afford to live in the inner west.
That's right.
Some people choose to live in other parts of Greater Sydney, and I say to the member for Newtown, not everybody has access. Madam Speaker, not everybody has access to a rail line or a light rail network or a ferry, which is why we need WestConnex, Madam Speaker. So this is why we need to not only build the public transport of the future, but the road network of the future, to ensure that people who live in the southwest, in the greater west, in the far west actually are able to live a bit of a distance out from Sydney, Madam Speaker. And one thing that I am very proud of in New South Wales is the extra supply we have in housing isn't just in the CBD for units as it is in Melbourne and Brisbane, but we've got units going up in Bankstown, in Blacktown, in Penrith, Madam Speaker. And of course also in Parramatta, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, and I also say to the member for Newtown, because I do believe she genuinely cares about supply, but I say to her, there's no doubt... There's no doubt, Madam Speaker, on any clinical analysis of their record versus ours, our record is much stronger when it comes to housing affordability. And Madam Speaker, that's why I get very disappointed. Madam Speaker,
House will come to order.
That's why I get very disappointed when the Greens choose to preference the Labor Party, which is fine. But if they cared about housing affordability, they would perhaps consider putting the Liberals ahead of the shooters in Gosford, Madam Speaker. So I say, Madam Speaker.
Oh, we're very good when I turn away.
Madam Speaker, I genuinely know.
Opposition, member for the entrance.
Madam Speaker, I genuinely appreciate that the member for Newtown cares about this issue and cares about
not
her
just
community.
from you, member for the entrance,
but the
I didn't direct that to you.
responsibility of our government is to make sure that we address housing affordability across the entire state. And I know it's an issue not just in Greater Sydney but also in our regions, which is why we have supply at record levels, Madam Speaker. We have construction at record levels, And not only do we have record construction, we also have record job creation, Madam Speaker. Thousands and thousands of jobs being created with every new house that's delivered. And Madam Speaker, those opposite not only couldn't increase approvals, they never built anything to support the extra housing, Madam Speaker. And I say to the member for Newtown, and I say to her colleagues, think again when you're giving your preferences, because
Too many
only
conversations in the chamber.
You're going to put one
End of the
nation
day.
first. We know that.